Mother's Day. Hello, I have had a difficult relationship with my mom for years that has seemed to get worse over the last 6 years after my dad passed away. This just happened about 2 hours ago. I called my mom early this morning after I got my kid up and his breakfast made. She did not answer and I left her a message. She called back around noon and sounded pissed off. I said Happy Mother's Day and asked how she was doing. She responded with, "What did I do to make you hate me and not want to spend time with me? You can't buy me a gift or come over on Mother's Day." I reminded her that when we spoke a few days ago that my daughter had a dance competition this weekend and we were not going to be around all weekend. We got home late last night and we are going back this afternoon, and that we would find a weekend to come over. She started going off about how I don't care about her and she is all alone with no family and does a lot for me she doesn't, but gets nothing in return. At this time I had to remind her that after my dad passed away I invited her to move in with us so she could be with family and watch her grandkids grow up. She countered that she didn't want to be dependent on anyone, which again I countered with she wouldn't. She could have saved money by not have to pay her mortgage or utilities and would only have to worry about her car payment and insurance. I already pay her phone bill. The only thing I would ask is she help with the kids, taking my daughter to her activities, and help with my son who was about to be born. I also reminded her that I have invited her over a number of times, and she always has an excuse as to why she couldn't come over. The weather is bad, it is too late at night, and I don't want to drive at night. I can't leave the dog alone, etc. I also reminded her that when I really needed her to come over, I was having gallbladder issues and experiencing a lot of pain while my wife was at the hospital with my in-laws, and asked her to come over and watch the kids, and she responded with she would have to check with her boss in 7 hours to see if it would be okay to take the day off. She has said she is going to retire and has money coming in from my dad's VA benefits, so I had to wait to get my kids to daycare before I could get treatment. She ended the call with she hopes this is her last Mother's Day, and I just hung up. I know my mom needs help by seeing a therapist and or being on medication, but at this point I am just fed up with her and always playing the victim. My wife has been telling me to cut off the relationship, and at this point this might be the breaking point, cause I am not sure where to go from here with the relationship. She doesn't have a great relationship with my kids cause she is never her. We basically stare at each other after a few minutes cause she doesn't know how to interact with the kids. Anyways, that is my rant. Thanks for reading. What am I dealing with? I'll preface this post by saying I'm getting professional help in therapy. I'm 31. I was physically and emotionally abused by my mother as a kid. I was hit in the face a few times a year until I stood up for myself at 18. I had my mouth washed out with soap regularly. I was screamed at. I was intimidated. I was guilted and shamed. I struggled in school. I couldn't focus when studying. Instead of getting educational help or any kind of pediatric psychology, I was just grounded over and over again for bad grades and missed homework. One time my mom cursed me out with a clenched jaw for putting 3 ice cubes in my drink and 2 in hers. One time she made me get the newspaper barefoot in the winter. When I asked if I could put shoes on, she said no. I think my father knows a lot of this, but not sure how much. Until starting therapy in 2022 I dismissed all of this as parenting the way they were parented, and others had it worse. My brother and I both live for hours from our parents now. Failing to appear for any holiday or occasion is a problem with my mother. I texted her on Monday to tell her that I wouldn't make it home for Mother's Day because I'm doing a lot of traveling in the next few weeks. She did not answer my text, which is unlike her. On Thursday, she asked me to call her, so I did. She said that she understood why I wasn't coming home, but that she would have appreciated being part of the discussion. I said that that made me feel less independent than a 31-year-old man should feel. She started crying and said that she thought Mother's Day was her day, and that if she couldn't count on seeing her sons for Mother's Day, I should let her know so she can operate accordingly. She hung up, then texted me a couple hours later asking if we could put this behind us before my wedding in 5 weeks. This made me feel like she wanted to express her feelings, but immediately shut it down once I expressed mine. I'm wondering if others with similar experiences can share what they've learned or what has worked for them. Let me know if this is better for another sub. She didn't want to pay for an extra drink. I'm sure everyone has had this happen to them, where someone would suggest something but don't tell you that they're only limited to 1 or 2 items only, and you don't get one cause if you ask for half, they'll make a half-ass excuse too. Victimized to make you feel and look bad. I've posted a different story a few months ago. when my mom asked everyone if we wanted to order pizza while we waited to watch the ball drop and then targeted me expecting me to pay for it, which I clearly remarked that I'm not paying for it cause why should I when I hadn't suggested it first. She eventually paid for it, but made me grab the food cause she was cold and had just showered, so she couldn't grab the oily food, but still ate it 5 minutes later. But this story is different and I wasn't able to do the same remark this time, cause I didn't have much money at the time and couldn't afford to get my own drink. Our mom had picked me up from work along with my brother in the car and decided that we would go do some quick shopping at a local Asane store not too far from our house. We had just finished shopping when I pointed out that I wanted something special to drink, something like boba tea, which I only drink rarely cause it's only sold in Asane stores or random stores that sell it. Me, hey look, they're selling boba tea for $3.99. Mom, oh let's get some. I had forgotten my card at home cause earlier that day I had overslept a bit and grabbed the wrong work pants that didn't hold my card in cash, so I didn't have any money on me. As I'm looking at the flavors and after making a decision, I say which one I wanted. So I asked if my mom and brother made their decisions yet. Just as we walked up to put in our order, my mom suddenly says, "Oh, we can only get to double quotes me." Wait, what? Mom? Oh, I meant we can only get to. I can't afford to get more than to me. Then why didn't you say so before I picked which one I wanted? Mom, well, you should have brought your card so you can pay for your own me. Fine, the next time don't come running to me when you can't afford to pay for your own bills. Mom, like you're paying for anything. You're lucky to even still be allowed to live under my roof. You better show me some respect. I just give up and walked away, cause I didn't want to argue with her anymore or it'll end with our dad later on lecturing me about discipline and respect towards my elders. My brother offered to let me have some of his drink, but our mom started making a fuss that she doesn't deserve to have some. She's being so rude. Besides, she just said she doesn't want any, so just kept it for yourself. I should have said something, but instead I started secretly drinking energy drinks when I'm not around home, cause I need something to keep me awake and energize me enough to work or focus on what I'm handling. Finally stopped talking to my mom. My mom got worse and worse over the years, especially after dad died. Recently my mom was pushing me to pay for the family's car insurance $3K. She was saying if I don't I'll lose my cell phone, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime and cut in the family home when she sells it. Something I know already the answer to. I won't get a dime even if I bought her mortgage out from under her. I own a vehicle, but I only drive it 3- months a year as I'm at sea and I virtually until this year couldn't use any of those apps unless I'm in a town. Already she was on thin ice with me. New Year's came and it seemed the bill came earlier and earlier and the premium got higher and higher and she made her demands. I told her no as I have to take responsibility for my own life. I asked to keep my number and mailed my savings bonds. She didn't respond other than repeating what she said. My mom then sent me a message that sounded so fake on my birthday. I didn't respond since the message sounded so disingenuous since she didn't know where I was. My deadline to leave for work was getting closer, and she sent me reminders to pay off the insurance bill for her. Within that week I got my insurance and set up a phone plan and got my girlfriend a new phone. My mom sent me a text on the due date demanding I pay. I didn't respond despite a week earlier she cited my intentions. Basically, she was trying to gaslight me. I get ready to go to work, get on the bus and into my journey I get text from her. Did you call me? You called 3 times. My phone didn't call out once, especially to her, and I didn't respond. But I texted my girlfriend about what happened. She thought it was weird as hell. My mom went full psycho. I don't know why you are ignoring me, but I know your ship's in and I'm wondering why you don't see me or talk to me. I never told her my ship's in the port she specified and I was very scared. So in the end I blocked her, my brothers, and family members who may have told her. I'm a lot happier now escaping her and moving on in life. I hate my stepdad so much. I wish he was out of my life. Since I was 3 my bio dad had left my life. Later in my life my mom remarried my stepdad, her childhood boyfriend. Since then he made my life a living hell. I can never do anything right. He calls me useless, stupid all the time. Will start fight with me, and when I just let him and don't react or say anything when he is in his mood, he will put words in my mouth like fighting with himself and need the last word. When I was in Taekwondo I had to fight and I accidentally hit one of the students on the face. Normal, right? Well, he yelled at me for hitting them when my mom's knees working. and I was not at school or it would be at the weekend. He would yell at me for making food, so I starved myself all the time, and when I told my mom, he yelled at me for lying. He would clean when everyone was asleep and yell at me for not helping and tell my mom I'm lazy. I can tell 3 separate times they sit me down and told me I need to be better, stop back talking, being lazy, and stop being a bad child. Oh, but I'm not a bad child, and that I need to start helping them more. They will get more animals and I will have to take care of them. Like it's my responsibility and my job. Because I'm disabled, I'm always forced to travel with them, and I hate to travel. On his birthday, he cleaned while everyone was asleep, and when my mom was at work, he called her and told her I didn't do anything, so she berated me for not helping him and why I'm selfish and lazy and if I need to be better, while he was dancing and laughing at me for crying. Later that day, while I was doing the dishes, of course, I can tell I was mad, so I had an attitude, but I wasn't talking. He was, what, or mad? I'll give you something to be mad about. I hate him. My mom is a while other situation.